What y'all doing?
Taking the vinyl leathers off so we can start the sanding.
Do topsides, steady supervising?
Yeah.
Nice. Getting ready to paint the topsides. Neither one of us have ever painted topsides before, so the beginning it's going to be a learning curve. Did a lot of research about the roll and tip method, and we'll be applying all that. We're using blue water marine paint, Mega Gloss, polyurethane, North Sea blue, and let's get you on the road. Ready? If your brush gets gunk on it, that's what the brand is. There's like a little bit of acetone on it. Well, our first attempt came out terrible, so we kind of paused. We're gonna let this dry and see if it's like salvageable by sanding, but it's just like
Come here.
dripping like crazy. So we're not sure if you're supposed to like thin it or something. I don't know. Like I said, neither one of us have done before, but instead of having to resand the entire boat, we decided to pause and see what happens. I'm also not really crazy about the color, but maybe it'll dry better, so we'll see. So I'm about to undo the mistake we made yesterday. Like I said, neither one of us had ever done this before, and I'll show you what happened. And started test sanding it. So now I have to sand the whole thing off. I didn't know that you had to thin the paint. I've never done this before. So, but luckily I was smart enough. I've made enough mistakes in my life that we just did the transom so that we could start with a small area and see what was happening, and then correct anything that we were doing wrong, which it turned out we were doing everything wrong. So the other problem is it's the wrong color. It's like the same color as like blue masking tape, and the brand is called like North Sea, and I've sailed in the North Sea, and I can assure you that it's not this color plate. So we're gonna get rid of all these runs. I'm gonna sand all this down. We're gonna find some dark blue, and then hopefully get it at least a coat on today and a coat tomorrow. So time to get to sanding.
expensive.
Shy.
Huh?
So 10%. Okay, so now we're gonna use Interlux, bright side, single part, polyurethane, dark blue. It's a much better blue. More like what we want. And we're gonna thin it. The directions say thin it up to 10%. Forums, people said, you don't need to thin it. I went and asked the dudes at the paint shop here who paint boats every day of their lives, and they're like, absolutely thin it. So I'm gonna trust those guys. We don't want to happen what happened yesterday. So we got this measuring container here, and it has a marking on the side that says 10%, so we're just gonna go slow. Alright, that's 10%. So we'll give this a stir and re-attack our transom. I'm afraid it's probably not going to look as good as it would have because I sanded as much of that as I could off, but it was so thick that it wasn't really dry. It like gummed up, I don't know, 30 of the sandpapers circles. The dog is very tired today because him and Camille stayed out partying last night. I went to sleep at 11 like a good boy. Ooh, I like this color.
Look at that plane.
Cool.
Yeah, it's 2 wings.
Whoa, like Red Baron, like Snoopy?
Yeah.
Okay, we got our foam set up. We got our brush that's been sitting in thinner. We're gonna get ourselves a rag also. Ready? There we go. Look like we're big Lakers fans. We won't look like we're giant Lakers fans. Oh yeah. Nice. This is what I thought it was gonna be like. Oh, I'm excited now. Super stoked. It's working. Looking good. Much better day today than yesterday. Went really fast, actually. And it looks great. It's supposed to dry flatter than it looks, and it looks really flat. So what do you think?
Yeah, let's look at the other side.
The transom kind of looks like shit because I didn't sand it enough.
Oh yeah, it's like over here.
Yeah.
You can already tell it's flatter than what we just did.
Look at this side.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, it's slightly brushy.
I mean, we're not looking for a show paint job, so it looks way better than it did. So that's good. It's like a little drippage there, but it's all right. We can also, we're gonna do 3 coats, so we could lightly sand areas in 24 hours if they, you know, that seems a little droopy there. But yeah, just gonna roll it thinner on the next coat, and pretty happy though. What do you?
Yeah.
Came out good. Much better than yesterday. Stoked. So it's storming like crazy. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so we're driving to Modesto, California, midday today. The yard shut down. They're not making our part. We're not getting in the water at least until next week, which sucks. But we're gonna go see Camille's grandma in Modesto, which will be really nice, and drive back to Los Angeles on Friday, drop a bunch of tools off, and then head back here and hope that they get our stern tube made either over the weekend or, which is unlikely, or Monday at the latest, because, you know, I have to get back to work. It's like, I'm supposed to work next week. So, we'll see how it goes. But right now we're just sitting in this crazy storm. And we only have like one little leak that I've noticed. This boat is surprisingly dry. So, that's good. So, that's where we're at. I'm gonna have my coffee, and we're gonna leave in a couple hours. So, we're at the boatyard. It's Sunday after Thanksgiving. We're hoping to get the stern tube done and installed tomorrow. And in the perfect world, we'll splash, but I'm not crossing my fingers. We fucked up our second coat of paint. It looked terrible. A couple of things made that happen. First and foremost, I used a Scotch-Brite pad, like a big purple pad, what the yard suggested, to scuff up the first lick coat so that the paint could adhere, and just lightly. Well, I didn't think to like wipe down the entire hull, so we think that the dust from that Scotch-Brite pad made it cloudy.
Not from the pad itself, but from what
from what the sanded, and it was so light I didn't even consider it. So that was like my mistake. Secondly, when we were at West Marine, we bought another tipping brush, and we like balked at the $41 brush. Because we're like, that's insane, $41 for a paintbrush. I think we didn't buy a cheap one. It was like
just like 20 something bucks.
$20.
Like, the quality of the bristle. Like you can see and feel the difference. The expensive one is much finer. It's much softer. I need to be really active about like keeping like every couple strokes, putting a little mineral spirits on it and like or a peak thinner and just making sure that there's no extra gloss. But I painted in oils for a long time, and brushes regularly get that expensive because they're made of fancy things. Like
it makes a difference.
Yeah.
So the other sort of like parameter is that all the videos we watched on rolling and tipping, even on like Shipwright TV and stuff, it showed, they said, you roll this way and you tip this way. So you tip the opposite way of the roll.
So many videos showed that.
Yeah, and so it made sense to me that you would go the opposite way of the roll. So that's what we did. And then on the second coat, we started the second coat. The painters at the yard were like, no, 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 you always tip vertically.
Always vertical, because anything that's horizontal, I mean, gravity's pulling on everything, obviously, but that horizontal line from the brush gets worse.
Yeah, so the gravity's pulling the paint down. And so if the brush strokes are like this, as the gravity pulls it down, the thinner helps smooth it all out. Versus like this, it becomes very, you know, this kind of
like
wobbly.
the thinner was still smoothing out. Like that first coat didn't look too bad,
The
but
first coat looked amazing. So, but actually on the first coat, you could still see our mistake on the transom from the previous first coat of the mess up.
from the ugly bright blue. Like
yeah.
it wasn't sanded down enough.
Not at all. So,
Expensive mistakes.
very expensive, but we learned a lot. So yesterday we got back to the boat, and it's been raining here like crazy, lots of storms. And I got here in the morning, and I got, I don't know, a quarter of the boat sanded yesterday. I mean, like I got the transom totally sanded down and the underside, and then it started raining and I couldn't do any more. So this morning got up and we got the entire boat sanded. And now Camille ran to West Marine to get a top up on her supplies. Let's talk about what you got.
Okay, so I got we're using this brushing thinner. They had rolling thinner and brushing thinner. So I got the one that was specific to what we're doing. Hopefully that'll help a little bit more with the, you know, this evaporating out of it, and making everything smooth out.
Yeah, so, and we'll be thinning our paint 10%. And it takes 1 quart to do 1 coat of the entire boat. And that's it thinned at 10%.
Rags.
We got rags.
And then I got the more expensive, I mean, it wasn't that much more, but I think it was like
Foam roller.
Foam roller for him.
Yep.
And then I got my fancy brush.
And that was the expensive brush, right?
This was it ended up like $46.
$46 for a paintbrush.
Much,
it's like, looks like boar's hair. It might be.
It's much smoother. The bristles are finer. And it feels softer, so I think it'll make a difference. I like oil painting for as long as I have. Like when you're trying to do something this smooth, it really does pay to get a finer tool for the job. So
yeah.
make sure to clean her out when we're done and hopefully use her for something else.
Yeah, next time we paint it. And so now we're going to go around with 2 rags, a wet rag with a little bit of acetone on it, and then Camille will follow with the dry rag, and we're gonna get it as clean as we can. And then we're gonna hurry up and roll this thing. It doesn't take long to roll it because you have to stay fast to keep, because it dries so quickly. Yeah.
We've also got a little breeze going right now. So.
Yeah, which is a bummer because of dust and stuff, and there's this road that you can hear. But it's not hot today, which is kind of benefits us. So yeah, time to get this done. So, We're done painting it. Seems like round 3 was a knockout.
Yeah, it looks much smoother than.
It even looks better than the first coat that we did.
Yeah.
So
Like really noticeably.
yeah, we're really happy with it. So that's great. And once it dries, it should dry even a little flatter than it is. So I promised Camille that she would get sex after we get done painting. So now
We're done painting.
Look at that. Beautiful. We're stoked. A lot of hard work. It sucks to sand off everything that you just painted. $100 worth of paint that you just put on. But we're very happy. And we used less than a pint with this new thinner, like the really expensive, nice thinner for that paint. We have like that much left in the can.
Yeah. The thing about that stuff is it worked. I think it felt thinner and runnier than the other.
Yeah, we had a lot more drips than we did before.
Yeah, so the person who's rolling, especially because the cove stripe and one of the, another little bump, but like cove stripe, the person who's rolling has to like get all that excess out of the cove stripe. Otherwise, it was like...
Yeah, Camille just had me get a rag, and then every time I'd roll like 3 times, I would wipe out the cove stripe, and that seemed to take care of it.
And then the person who tips, like, you've got to move really fast.
Yeah, she had the hard job for sure.
And I'm like, you're definitely like moving really fast up the entire time, and then going back for sections about this wide and doing it again.
Yeah, and you were cleaning your brush.
And I was cleaning my brush constantly
with a rag full of thinner.
But yeah, you've got to move. You got to move pretty fast, and you've also like you can't go. There's a certain amount of time, and then you can't go back again.
Yeah.
So you've got to.
It'll start marring the surface.
Yeah. So you've got to go, do a section, look if you need other ones, and then keep moving.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot, and we'll probably get better at it from here. But we're happy with it. This is the last one we're gonna do on this round anyway. So either way, this is what it is. So I'll be excited to see what it looks like tomorrow. But that's it. Round 3. Actually, round 3.25. So, there she is, beautiful topside. Now, once we get back to Newmark's, unless we get stuck here for an extended period, Camille's going to paint the boot stripe and the cove stripe. And we talked about it, and Camille's going to gold leaf the cove stripe. We looked at it, it's not that expensive. And well, you said you'll paint it yellow first?
You gotta paint it yellow, so if it gets nicked, there's not crazy blue underneath, so you wouldn't really notice. But yeah, paint it yellow, and then you use a sizing special for...
Its size is like a type of
like
glue medium that's like a paint that
like
you
a
paint
glue.
on.
And then that's what gives you the perimeter for the shape that you're gonna make. So, because like when you do, I've done gold leafing some, you have like a sheet, and it all, like you can't put it on really evenly, but the sizing is what makes it really even, because it'll only stick to where you put that size. So,
yeah. And we'll do a video of that when she gets to it.
I'm excited to, it'll be really pretty.
It'll be gorgeous, so. Alright. Well done.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. It helps us a lot.
Thanks again to all of our patrons. Your contributions help us get the boat ready for big things.
Until next time.